My name is Joe Carlisle, and I am the mayor of the city of Troup. I've served in this position for 3 years. I served as a councilman for 10 years prior to that. The city council and the city staff felt like this would be a good opportunity to share some of the milestones that the city has reached in the past few years and some of the tools that we've used to reach those milestones. For those of you that grew up in Troup, when you come home now, you notice that downtown doesn't look the same as it did when we were kids. The reason for that, we believe, is because the big box stores in the larger cities have drawn a lot of the business away from the small mom and pop businesses that existed in Troup and other rural communities around the country. After those businesses left, the city was faced with some financial challenges that we're now seeing a recovery from because so many people are shopping online. The benefit of the online shopping trend that's happening now to small communities like Troup is that we now once again get to claim the sales tax revenue that once went away to cities like Tyler and Dallas or wherever anyone shopped. In 1998, the city council put a proposal on the ballot to vote for a half-cent sales tax issue that would fund the Troup Community Development Corporation. That half-cent sales tax would be for commercial infrastructure development, for business development, for projects like roads, streets, drainages, for parks. The TCDC has contributed in excess of $500,000 to street projects. Water, sewer, and drainage projects, the TCDC has contributed over $600,000. As an example, Georgia Street was paved to TxDOT standards from Duval Street all the way to the back entrance of McElroy Plastics, allowing that street to bear the weight of large 18-wheel trucks, both inbound and outbound from their storage area. There's downtown revitalization that's pretty obvious to anyone that's been through town, and that downtown revitalization represents about $330,000 worth of expenditures. We often enter into interlocal agreements with outside organizations. The Church Street project that we did in September of 2019 was paid for with TCDC money, and the cost of the project was reduced because of an interlocal agreement between the City of Troup and Smith County, using Smith County's labor and material to greatly decrease the cost of the paving project. Not all projects that we undertake at the city use TCDC funds. The Texas Commission of Environmental Quality, also known as TCEQ, basically mandates a number of things in all cities that relate to either water or sewer treatment. In 2009, the TCEQ notified the City of Troup that we didn't have adequate water pressure any longer with the old water towers, and they mandated that we research and soon build a new water tower. The capacity of the water tower is 250,000 gallons, and it costs in excess of $1 million to build it and tie it into the existing water mains. In 2016, the City Council will apply for a grant to begin the process of putting new sidewalks and streetlights in downtown Troup. The first phase of this project was on the north side of Duval Street between the railroad tracks and the four-way stop. And all of you now have been through Troup after dark and have seen the change on that side of the street. The sidewalk project was paid for in large part with a grant for $155,000. TCDC had to pay matching money to that in order to qualify for that grant, and our total cost on the project ended up being in excess of $230,000. Currently, the city has received a grant to do the same type of sidewalk project on the south side of Duval Street and the west side of Georgia Street from Duval down to Calvert Street. This will also include streetlights. During the process, all the overhead lines that housed both the fiber optic cable from Suddenlink and the regular telephone cables from CenturyLink have been relocated. Those two sections of sidewalk will cost in excess of $400,000. $275,000 of that will be grant money, and the rest will come from the TCDC funds. Several years ago, a number of citizens saw a need for the City of Troup to have a public library. The Cameron J. Jarvis Library was funded by the Cameron family and the Julietta Jarvis family and was built in the old Piggly Wiggly building. Recently, with a generous donation from the Cameron family, that project has been expanded and we now have a new entrance facing Duval Street. We hope in some future project to be able to run those same new street lights in front of the library and the City Hall. In the summer of 2019, we broke ground on a new park project on Short Street, where an existing park has been for a number of years. That park project is going to cost $122,000 to $125,000. We got a 50% matching grant on that, so TCDC will be providing in excess of $60,000 for the rest of that project. Another project that was just completed was the Joe Lane Family Splash Pad that was completed with donations from individuals from the city. Diane Lane donated $100,000 of her personal money to see that park built. We had other private donors from around the community, and TCDC also matched $30,000 worth of additional money to help complete that park. You may have noticed on 110 South that there's a new fire station for the Troup Volunteer Fire Department. You may also be aware of the fact that the city now uses Code Red to notify people of any emergencies or any public announcements that need to be made. And there's also an outside warning system in case of inclement weather. Nearly 10 years ago, most of Smith County entered into an agreement that allowed the Emergency Services District Number 2 to be formed. We refer to it as ESD2. ESD2 funds a great deal of the operation of many of the volunteer fire departments in Smith County. We no longer have to contribute money at the level that we did to the Troup Volunteer Fire Department because the funding comes from ESD2, approximately $30,000 a year at today's tax rate. We also now have a manned fire department during business hours when it's most difficult for volunteer fire departments to staff their firefighting and safety equipment. Recently, ESD2 purchased a new fire truck for the City of Troup. The cost was well over $400,000. Under normal circumstances, before ESD2, there's no way that the City of Troup would ever have been able to afford equipment like that. And that's just one piece of equipment. There are many other wonderful pieces of equipment in that fire station. Approximately 13 years ago, the City of Troup totally reconfigured their police department. We currently have 11 officers that rotate to cover overtime, weekends, and nights and holidays. 2 Troup police officers also serve as school resource officers for the Troup Independent School District. They are on campuses throughout the school year to ensure a safe learning environment and to reinforce positive relationships with the student community. One of the things that I'm probably most proud of about living in Troup is our school district. We have one of the best school districts in all of Smith and Cherokee County. TISD had the highest rating in Cherokee and Smith County with an overall score of 94. TISD is continually looking at ways to improve the programs they offer to the students and to our district. TISD had an outstanding year in 2018 and 19. Every sport advanced to postseason competition. The golf team made their 10th consecutive appearance at the state golf tournament. In girls sports, the Lady Tigers advanced in the basketball program and the softball program. We also had a state finalist in cross-country track. In boys sports, Tiger football team advanced to the regional championship. Basketball advanced to regionals as well as baseball. We had a number of runners in field events that participated in area and regional track meets. When we talk about being proud of our schools, we couldn't be more proud of our band. Our band received the coveted Sweepstakes Award, scoring number ones at both marching and concert contests. We had a number of outstanding performers in the band advance with individual competitions as well. Troup Independent School District and the City of Troup are the only school district and city in Smith County to both have attained recognition for transparency efforts from the Texas Comptroller. Transparency stars are awarded only to cities and school districts making important strides to greater government transparency of all financial records. Troup has always been a faith-based community, as exhibited by the many different places of worship inside the city and in the surrounding areas. Year-round in the city of Troup, there are activities that allow everyone to participate at some level or another. We have a community Easter egg hunt. We have a community sunrise Easter service at Tiger Stadium. We have the Troup Chamber of Commerce annual awards banquet. We have the Community Fall Festival with free games, small carnival rides, treats and eats put on by local churches. The Troup Community Development Corporation, the Troup Chamber of Commerce, help sponsor these as well. In mid-November, Holiday in the Country has become more popular than ever. It's an opportunity after business hours for people to come and roam the streets, see the Christmas decorations, and do some early Christmas shopping with the local businesses. November and December are very important months for Troup. Troup Cares helps families in need of a better Christmas through food and gifts for children. Area businesses, schools, organizations, churches, and the community donate food and financially support other efforts to purchase gifts for those in need. Mid-December, we have the annual Troup Chamber of Commerce Christmas Parade. So thank you for allowing me to visit with you about Troup. It's fun to visit about things in the past, to look at what's happening now, and to focus on our future. Thank you again.